So welcome back everyone. We are starting up with our panel discussion that is shared responsibility or single owner who should drive change in DEI, CHRO, CEO, Chief Diversity Officer or HR. To do this, please join me in welcoming our moderator, Mr. Anil Tyagi, Director HR, Kusum Group of Companies. Anil Tyagi is a professional goal to keep clients, especially within human resources, motivated, focused, and committed to both personal and organizational development. His aim to enhance the visibility of the HR function through strategic business alignment and the optimization of HR processes and systems with specialities in SAP Payroll India, OD intervention, psychometric assessment, union negotiation, talent acquisition, and talent development. Anil brings strong interpersonal skills and high emotional intelligence to his work, ensuring effective collaboration and growth at all levels. Further, I would like to introduce our following panelist, Ms. Megha Thapar, APC APAC Head, DE&I Global Workplace Solutions, CBRE, Aseem Nath Tripathi, CHRO Multiplier Brand Solutions, Neeraj Mehra, VPHR Leader Talent and Strategy and Social Impact Infogain, Shaleen Manik, CHRO Transsion India, and Nida Khanam, Head of Human Resource India and Greater India Socomec Group, Timsy Kohli, Chief People Officer Swiss Beauty. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of them?
Okay, while we wait for the panelists to come on stage, it is my absolute pleasure to announce the second award, the next award. Ally of the Year. You all heard this person in the first panel and the passion. Any guesses, anyone? Any guesses? The first panel, passion. Akshay? Absolutely. So humility and excellence in one package and lots of passion. That's Akshay Tyagi for you, everyone. A friend, confidant, supporter, he dons different hats. Akshay is the head of DEI at the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group and a founding member of the Keshav Suri Foundation. He champions comprehensive and intersectional DEI initiatives, empowering marginalized communities, including the LGBTQIA, people with disabilities, and women in the workplace. Akshay collaborates with over 100 NGOs and CBOs, sensitizing over 200 corporate organizations and 100 schools on DEI, recognized with numerous awards like the Red Achievers Award and the Trans Ally Award, and now the Marching Sheep Award. His dedication ensures inclusive environments where every individual feels valued and respected. His allyship knows no boundaries.
Namaskar. Thank you, everyone. So I think this also goes back to every community individual who has been a great ally to me as an individual. Because had it not been them supporting me in this journey and then not considering me as part of the family, this would not have been possible. And thank you, Sonika, for having me here. I always say that by not changing yourself, you're changing the world to every community individual that I meet on this journey. Because had it not been them openly LGBTQ individuals, had it not been them taking pride in their disabilities that they are born with and carrying on with it to be a proud individual, had it not been the women being women and taking their places and claiming their spaces the way they want, this would not have been possible. So a huge round of applause for all of them to have contributed in existence of me being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now can we have the panelists, please?
So very good afternoon. सर जोर से बोलो यार, अभी तो लंच भी नहीं हुआ. Good afternoon. I think DI is not only the buzzword, but it is actual now reality. If an organization wants to go for growth, inclusion, and for innovations, development, and all, I think DEI is very, very important. So that's how I look at it: diversity, equity, and inclusion in all spheres of work where we are, even in society as well. So the topic for us today is shared responsibility or single owner. Who should drive change in the DEI, CHRO, CEO, Chief Diversity Officer, or HR? With me is my co-panelist, and they are from a very diverse backgrounds, from different industries, and with a lot of experience. So we'll try to explore this topic, and I always say one thing: like we should try to make it interactive, little bit specific also. So anytime, any questions, anything that we will take a Q&A, and don't worry, we'll complete it in time. I'm defense officers also. That's how it is. So just to start with, I would like to go with Neeraj. Neeraj, what impact does the leadership role of CEO have in shaping the decision making and success of DI? Because he is the overall head of the family. So what is your view on that?
Thank you so much. Hello. Hi. Thank you so much, and this is an interesting conversation, and happy to be here. My name is Neeraj. I represent a company called Infogain. Yeah, no, I think it's good. So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Neeraj. I represent a company called Infogain. We are an IT services organization, 5,500 people, headquartered in Los Gatos. I play an HR business partner role and a social impact leader for the organization. And I deal with I don't drive D&I myself, but I deal with the agenda of DEI for the organization. I think like any other important agenda or any other change management, CEO plays a very critical role in driving the DEI agenda for the organization because everything starts from the top. A lot of organizations that I've worked with, small, medium, and large organizations, I feel that a lot of these agendas get faltered because there is no management buy-in. So as a CEO, I think the CEO has the most critical role of setting the right agenda for the organization, deciding that DEI is important. And I think it is the role of the CHRO and many other leaders to make him understand that how can DEI be important in terms of bringing the right level of innovation and getting the right set of people in the organization from diverse background who can help in making the organization successful. The CEO obviously can be the cultural champion as well in terms of making his leaders understand that why is it important for them to have a diverse workforce so that there is more inclusive environment in the organization. He can set up right accountability and measures in the organization as well that I feel is very, very important. I think one of the important factors which I feel where he can contribute is also to building external partnerships with organizations and with customers where those customers and organizations also feel that DEI is very, very important. So these are some of the places which I feel the CEO can play a very critical role in setting the right tone of inclusion in the organization.
I think it is very well said that I think it is very, very important for any initiative top to down approach. So CEO becomes very, very important in that and his vision, strategy, and how he takes it. Okay, thank you very much, Neeraj. Very quickly, any other panel would like to add into this? As a panelist.
I think very much agreeing with what he's mentioned about the CEO's buy-in. It's very important also for our people, like for example, the D&I department and the people department who is taking the responsibility of D&I, driving diversity, equity, and inclusion in the organization to make it as a business case. Not just having a right thing or a good thing to do, but also saying that, hey, it's business as usual. Because it's not something which we're doing over the top. It has to be done because it's a way of working for everybody to have a better productivity, performance, and also to innovate for the next coming years as well. You have to be relevant. But if you don't have diverse minds in the room, you will not become relevant in the business space also. So I think that's what I would like to just add on.
Thank you, Megha. I think then when we talk about CEO, large organization, they have CDO, but in many of the organizations it is CHRO, who takes responsibility for this. Of course, big organization, they have CDO and different this one. So Aseem, as a CHRO, how can certain talent management, policies, procedures, whatever you can do or you are doing to increase, DI in your organization?
Thank you so much, Tyagi ji, and I am Aseem. I represent Multiplier, which is a field force solutions company. And DE&I, I see this topic as a topic from the right mindset is very important. If we do not change our mindset, we will not be able to tackle this problem in the entirety. Why I say that? So when in the morning I was talking to one of the panelists and we were discussing about the efforts organizations take on, in particular, this matter. There are two kinds of efforts which companies do. One, not to discriminate, and second, proactively take actions to bring certain sections of society at par. That may be female, that may be other sections of society, PWDs, or LGBTQ for that matter. So that can only happen if the CHRO or CEO for that matter has a inclusive mindset, which is devoid of any bias. What kind of bias? That I am just taking one example of females. Females are good for certain kinds of role. Females are good into certain traits and they are not good in certain traits. Or the kind of career breaks they have to take because of certain decisions in their life that is detrimental to their career growth. If that mindset is deeply ingrained in CHRO and CEO, and which is not out of place because this is societal trend, this is something intrinsic inside. Unless that is shaken from inside and they are able to see that all these diversified sections of society, I completely agree with the Megha, they bring complementary skills, certain skills which predominant section of society males do not have. So we need to identify those skills and we need to align those skills with the right kind of roles in the company. Then we'll be able to create a business case for it, which will not be given to them as a kind of favor, which many companies may have been doing it. I'm not saying all. So unless we create a business case for it, unless we include the 48.6% of the population, out of which 26% are skilled, I'm talking about females, they are skilled, 10% of PWDs are there in India, how many of them are employed? Of course, we have to make some efforts to create conducive atmosphere for them to be gainfully employed. So there are companies which are doing it. One of them is Jaipur Rugs in Jaipur. In our company, I'll give a couple of small examples before I close it. We have started taking interviews of PWDs, and since we work for various clients, we are trying to convince clients that to include certain sections of their manpower and include the diversified population, females, PWDs and LGBTQs, and some clients have agreed. In our core staff also, we have our gender ratio is 26%. So we are very conscious of hiring females, and we give preference also because we feel that they really bring the stability in the company in terms of business and in terms of emotional environment in the company. Those small steps we have started taking, but at least we are very, very clear in terms of mindset that we would like to take certain conscious, strong, bold steps which will take our journey forward, and we'll be able to give some kinds of traction to increase the diversified population in our company and the clients' workforce also. Thank you.
I think thank you, Aseem, very well said. The first important thing is to be having an approach gender neutral. and not creating kind of a biases, and we need to create kind of an environment, because we need to include many functional head also, so that mindset shift is become a very, very important role of CHRO. And I just add my own company, like, we are in pharmaceuticals, and we have HR head at manufacturing in Indore, a female. And when we were promoting him, there was a lot of things that as a female, there's a contractual workers and all that. But then with the confidence in her and her ability, and then taking all people together, she is doing a fantastic job. So there's nothing like that female cannot, or that if you are gender neutral, you can do. But this is a very, very important topic. I think we can revolve around it, because many a time it is being said but not done. What is the perspective anyone of you want to take, Nida, on the same talent management, or anyone of course?
So thank you. So I actually wanted to raise my hand. So I represent a company which is, thank you. So you included me. Thank you so much. So I represent a company which is a French organization, 102-year-old. We make organizations capable of power. So we are a power solution company. Honestly speaking, we don't have really, till last year, really DE&I as a council or as a policy, because somehow we were not realizing that we were different. We were, I think, that way included. If we talk about HR, I think one is that we sometimes overload ourselves. We think that it is our head, we only need to do it, and that's where a lot of time it doesn't work. Second is we mostly focus on the barriers. We are not looking at the accelerators. What can actually help it work? We make it really a intervention which is in the books. So this year we have this in our CEO core strategy as a DE&I, but I feel that sometimes we need to go beyond, normalize it. When we start making it as an initiative and a very big in mind of people, or large, too large, so it becomes larger than life, and people feel that, okay, I have to do it, I have to complete this task. But when we normalize it, it becomes a part of our normal routine, like having breakfast. But when you're on diet, we actually ensure that, okay, intermittent fasting is happening or what is happening. So I think normalization as an HR is very important, and we need to find how do we normalize. And that then initiatives, whether when we talk about talent management, one thing which I think is happening around is also making peer groups, where it's a good mix of it. But if we talk of our country, I think we have so many diversities in a form of culture, socioeconomic, gender is one of them. But even in every office, we have language as a diversity. We have attire as a diversity. We have, whatnot. Beliefs as a diversity. And if we start thinking that this is also something which we need to work on, then only the real inclusion would happen. Sometimes it is happening very beautifully. We don't realize because that is part of our life. So normalization for me has been a key word. Thank you.
Nida, very well said by you. I think this is very, very important, and I also have experiences. Sometimes what happens, it goes too much in our head, diversity, diversity, and diversity. I think we need to look into equity also, and diversity is not only gender specific, there's other diversity as well. And I think with diversity, equity also is very, very important. But continuing, because all of you are HR heads in your organization, some of your perspective on this, maybe on your policies, procedure, how you are increasing it in your organization.
So, hi, my name is Shaleen, and I represent an organization called Transsion India. We are a mobile handset company, and I am the chief of staff for the India business unit. So one of the practice that I tell you, since we are a sales-driven organization, that too into distribution, and distribution is one of the, I would say, the most toughest side of the sales that you can ever think of. And out of 2,000 strong people that we have, 1,000 people are in sales. So when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, most of the organization are really struggling to enhance and improve the gender diversity ratio in our organization. I'm sure the organizations who have actually gone through age, experience, sexual orientation and all that, those are another level. But most of the organizations like us are really struggling with diversity ratio. Like in my organization, since being a sales organization, only a 7%. So one of the practice that I have actually recently started and which really given me a boost in terms of changing the mindset of the people, and we have done it without telling most of the leaders that why we are doing that. So I started a practice called blind resume. It's basically a practice which talks about hiring based on skill rather than the obviously gender. A leader can see the gender and say that, oh, say you're giving me a resume of a girl. Do you think that she is going to do a sales job? That too distribution. So what I have told my CDO is that make sure that whenever the resourcing team gives us resume, the portion of it comes to you as a sample, and those resumes should not have gender, name, nothing. It starts from obviously everything else apart from this, and pass it on to the hiring managers. I have seen almost 50 to 60% of the leaders not able to gauge it whether the resume is of a girl or a boy. And there we started that journey. And when we actually called upon the candidate based on that, when the leader has seen it, oh, she is girl, I said, yes, you have shortlisted this CV, and then why not you are going to interview that person? So there the mindset gets changed, because yes, there are obviously the hiring based on merit, but it happens that we have hired a regional sales manager in our organization as a female, and she was working with an FMCG company, and she's been hired and she's doing well. She's on probation right now, but I am happy. So we have actually made DEI a taboo, though it's a wonderful thing, because when we talk about that I am going to initiate DEI in the company, we say that, oh, we are struggling with basic. Why you're talking about such a big buzzword? But I said that, do you know what DEI is? Do you want to be valued in the organization? Everybody say yes. Do you want to be respected? Yes. Do you want to be heard, being safe and being heard? Everybody say yes in all aspects. I said that's the DEI. When you think that what you want to feel in an organization, it's basically an attempt through policy, action and practices. We given that segment as DEI. There's nothing that an HR is doing specifically. It's really a cultural change for driving these parts. So this is one of the initiatives I'm talking about, and I'm sure all of us, whether it's CDO, CEO, CHROs, without really segmenting DEIs as some of the big buzzword where people take a backseat, if we can take small step and really integrate those baby steps in the bouquet of DEI, I'm telling you, most of the organizations who are really driving this initiative from a cultural standpoint will get success. I think that's my viewpoint.
Thank you very much, Shaleen. I think that example which you have given, because we have to do some action in that direction, that your example, very simple but very significant, that removing the gender from the CV and then interviewing the candidate on merit. So when we talk about diversity, it is not only like, be gender neutral, but same times the performance merit-based hiring. I think that's also somewhere is very, very important, somewhere I have a different view of one of the top B school I am talking about, because my DEI says that I have to take 35% female employee or intern, then we are taking 35%. But what you told, I think that's the right way of doing it. Be gender neutral, and then let it be merit based, and then you put your perspective.
Meritocracy is definitely there, because it's not about gender should get the preferences, but adding on merit is definitely one thing we should need to take upon, and that's what we are doing it.
So Megha, if you want to take it further, or we go to the next, we try to.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to speak about, of course. Okay, so I think he talked about action, right? I think I'm all about action. We here in the room, we are D&I practitioners. That's why we are here in this room to talk about it. And I think a lot of us know about the why it is important, but what are the different tactics to get the buy-in? That's extremely important. So I will give an example here. So I'm really grateful to Marching Sheep today, that they extended the invite not just to me, but also my team member who is there in the audience right now, who is 80% disabled, and creating a accessibility for him to even accompany along a caregiver along with him, and making sure the person reaches carefully as well as respectfully. in the audience. So he's one of my teammate, Shivam, and he's managing 15 countries with me in Asia Pacific. And I'm working for CBRE, so he's managing global as well as Asia Pacific operations pieces. But that is how you put actions, right? Ultimately, it's about, have you really walked the talk? And that's where the walk the talk comes in. Because it's about capturing those moments of action and just do it. You don't worry about, okay, I have to take 5 leaders say and yes on it and then you do it. No, maybe you have to just take a step of courage and say that let's do it and let's go ahead for it. So if you have not met Shivam, I think I will encourage everyone to connect with him for sure. And he's a MBA HR from Delhi School of Economics, as well as right now a fellow and doing his PhD. So if we can create opportunities for work for everyone, I think that's what we need to all give as an examples. Because what happens when we go into the business conversations, they say, oh, I think I have to create another JD. I have to create a different job description for this person. I don't have that role right now, but maybe that's next year to plan. Why next year? Let's look at the JD and let's create, let's do internship, let's do testing models, and then of course put the things into action and motion there. So I think that's what is important. And that's what will actually give you key wins to convince the next board meeting also. Because without action, if you go, you are still walking, talking in the air. You have to talk about real substances that, hey, we did this, we got the batch of diverse people, and this is the output which happened. So I am working for a CBRE, which is a real estate management solutions. And what I did is that, which everyone is talking about, actually creating a business case. That should not be an afterthought. It should not be a right thing to do, and it should not be also just, okay, look at the KPIs and minimum percentages and creating quota system. No, it has to be a business value, like how it's business as usual. I just got a call from my business leader today and saying that Megha, our client, which is Nomura right now, and I'm talking about multiple clients here, right? LTI, Mindtree, or Google, etc. So they are very big on their D&I agenda, and they want partners to partner along with them on that journey to get things into operations. But if you are not creating an operational metrics of it, that how it is to be done, you are missing the whole, inspiration there. So I think that's where you have to, and I was talking to a fellow panelist before this, make the goal so easy to achieve that nobody can say no to you. Make it so easy that, just hire like 3 people in your team, like it's a 300 people team, just hire 3 people. I will help you to get that hired, done. So if you get that example done and you give them maybe 10, whenever I go with a D&I goal setting with our business, I just don't go with the 1 goals. I give them a 10 sample goals. Pick up anything. Pick up whatever you like. It can take 1 minute for you to complete. It can take like 100 days to complete. Up to you, up to your strength and allyship and advocacy there. So I think that's where you take them along. Thank you.
Yeah, Megha, I think very rightly, because we need to be very proactive also, and depending upon your business case as well. I think 2-3 points which you have brought in and very relevant is that we need to have a proper action plan with us while we go in boardroom, and we need to convince, as a CHRO or HR head, you have to convince the other peoples also, and then not only focusing on percentage and numbers. So creating JD, proper JD, then doing the action plan, and then be ahead of the curve while you are into boardroom. So I think that's very, very important. So Timsy, like we talked about CHRO, their perspective. Now for CHROs, their team also is very important. So how do you how do you communicate or tell to your team that, and how your team contribute or can contribute? Because many of us over there may not be HR head and all, but they are managers or executives who are the part of the team, and they also want to take DEI initiatives in their organization. So some of your view on that.
Sure. Hi, thanks for having me here. I am Timsy. I work with a cosmetic brand called Swiss Beauty, and makeup is for everyone, is what we believe in. Because if you look at the brand, I think in true sense, we have a lot of diversity on our social page also. While I'll say not only just on social page, but internally, I have a diverse set of people that we are working with. So very small setup, around 300 people with no separate DI team or agenda or budget. So I took the responsibility, and a couple of things that I am doing. So I'll talk very practical about what I am doing currently for the initiative. Might be helpful for people who are in the startup or new age companies. First thing I did, I hired a person in my team from the community to lead the recruitments for us. This person is, initially, because he was the first one to join us from the community, there was some talks, but as and when, he started working and the quality of work that he presented to leaders, he's gained a lot of faith, and today I don't have to go for any meetings. He's single-handedly leading the recruitment function with 2 more people in the team. And with this, I think I have set the basics. All my JDs, they are inclusive. We use gender neutral and bias-free language. And with his convincing power, the way he presents, he's also able to get a lot more people from the community. So I'll give you an example where we were, hiring makeup artist. So expectation was that it has to be a female, and that's the mindset, right? While we figured out that we have a lot of people from the community who are doing a fantastic job working as influencers and promoting makeup brands. So we ran that blind resume practice, wherein we presented a couple of resumes without showing the gender, disclosing the gender. And when the resumes were shortlisted, because people came from fantastic experience, they had good brands and they had created an impact with other brands also. So we presented a couple of cases, they were shortlisted. And then when they came in for interview, of course, there was a reaction from the leader. But of course, when they started interacting with the candidate, we ensure that, we are a part of the interview process so that it also goes well and in line with what we are expecting. All the interviews went really well, and today, all the makeup artists that I have, around 15 people in the company, they're all from the community. So that's another thing that we have done. Also, I'm talking about 2 years back, basically. So when we started this journey of the initiative, we also tied up with a lot of partners who could help us getting people from the diverse background. So we started, we paid them extra to get us people from the community, because 2 years back there were no database. There were very limited partners who had this kind of database wherein you can source people from. So we paid them extra to help us hire from the community. Also, when it comes to now they're in, right? Now, how do I ensure that they belong, they're valued, they're safe and secure? So since it is not a very big company, we do not have any ERG group, but all the people from the community, they meet every month, they discuss their challenges if they have any, and basis the report that I get from one of the leaders from the group, we conduct a lot of trainings. Since I do not have budgets, I have used my engagement budget and budget that was allocated for POSH trainings. I use them, and I include DEI also in the training so that everything gets covered in one go.
So, right, Timsy, I think very well, I told external stakeholder collaboration, and with the limitation how you can do. I think this is very, very important. I think few of us must be looking forward, like as a CHRO, how you make your team so they become a central point, of this implementation. Because ultimately, whatever vision or strategy you have, you need, someone to implement. And for CHRO, I think the HR team, the one. So for DI initiatives, some of the things you are doing within your team. Anyone would like to take it?
So I think one of the things which I think has worked for me is one, trying to understand the leader that I'm working with and trying to strike a chord with them to understand if they have ever been discriminated. And whether we like it or not, all of us would have got discriminated some point in life, right? Whether it is to do with education or with our gender, with our language, with the way that we look, right, with the way that we carry ourselves. So I think that's something which I feel has really helped me in striking a chord with the individual, with the leader, and then kind of influence them that, if you have been discriminated, imagine how would others feel, and try to influence them in some way. Because we are a data-driven industry, IT, a lot of leaders are wired in a certain way that they only understand numbers. So a lot of times, throwing data at them in terms of how people from a different gender or a section of society, how they have done well as compared to many other people as well. I think that is another area that has really helped at regular intervals in terms of influencing the readers through data, as well as striking a chord with them if they have ever been discriminated. I think these are few things that has helped us as HR team to influence, bringing in more inclusion within the organization.
Nida, you want?
Yeah, just one liner. So I feel that CEO is important, the leadership is important, the next line, but middle management is very important to have a buy-in, because half of the time, or rather I would say most of the time, they're the decision makers. They're hiring, they're developing their people. So educating, training is one piece, other is nudging them by ways of different programs, different initiatives, creating council, which I think most of the companies have, and I think we all, many of us don't have a diversity officer separately, it's HR who is running. HR can lead, but you can have council which has non-HR people equally accountable. So that you have responsibility matrix, you have matrix, otherwise data talks. So you know how many resumes are rejected, or how many development initiatives where people have, the list has been rejected that, okay, fine, we don't want to nominate this person. I had very recently an example, and I'm sorry for taking another 30 seconds, where there was a lady, we have a very beautiful program in our APAC, and normally every country nominates some people, and very hand-picked people go every year. So there was a lady who was every time going out of the list because she was not ready to travel. Yeah, so we had to work, because that was also taking opportunity from other females. Because then you are kind of somewhere labeled that, being women, you might not travel or be there for a week because it requires to be there 3 times in a year. So working with that person also. So it is, diversity is a mix, but then that inclusion is a mixture. Equity is what the proportion which goes in. So it is also important that people take chance on that equity given, or that chance has to be taken, and opportunity has to be converted. So that's also very important. When you have people, they should also stand up and take opportunity within the organization and outside. So that's important.
Right, Nida. I think that's very, very important, that they have to take up the responsibility and chance as well. And that I think for that we need to create that kind of environment also in your team. Very recently, last week only, we were going for leadership safari kind of thing, and there is 3-4 female leaders, 5-6 female leaders in our team, and 1 or 2 were dropping. And then I talked to them, then even management talked to them, and they said that there's a safe environment over there, and this is an opportunity for you as well. And then somehow we created that kind of environment. They all come, because in India still there are people coming from middle class families, or I should not bracket anything, but still some biases are there. So creating an opportunity, standing up for that opportunities, and creating that kind of environment around, I think that's very, very important. I think Aseem, you wanted to say something.
I really agree with what you said, and Tyagi ji, that as we, all HR, we tend to create employer brand where we would like to attract people from good talent. So similarly, we also need to create the brand in a way that attracts all sections of society, DEI population also. And for that, we need to showcase small steps we have taken. So when we start doing that, it will give a good signal within the company also, and the kind of learning we get. Because when we deal with diversity section, for example, in our company, we have hired people from care homes. So when I speak to them, I understand their issues, and I see from a different lens, because the kind of environment they have got since they have been brought up in a foster homes, that gives me opportunity to have a different kind of dialogue with them and that learning goes a long way to create the policies for the similar kind of inclusion for other sections also. So small steps, right, very right, and small steps should be highlighted to give ourselves a responsibility that we need to take bigger steps also, and opportunity for others to be hired from outside. And for that, as Tyagi rightly said that creating a conducive environment, creating a buy-in from all HODs, all key stakeholders, then only that this entire diversity story in the company will flourish. Thank you.
Thank you, Aseem. I think I was knowing that we have 45 minutes, but now I'm running short of time. So very quickly, thank you each one of you for your beautiful insight. I throw it for Q&A. We can have two, 3 questions if you would like to ask anything from any panelist. Yeah, please.
Yes, yes.
We can hear. If you can please stand up and stand up for the chance.
I'm Shaleen from Management. I head recruitment, and the points you made, Shaleen, I think they're very pertinent. My challenge is, even if I mask the CVs, it is very difficult because the next stage is again an in-person discussion. It continues to be a journey, I would agree. However, it's the mindset what Aseem was, how he started. Till the time we, look beyond just a face, a figure, somebody who's wearing a turban sometimes, somebody who's carrying a beard, it never ends. So my question to the panel is, while we continue to push the agenda as HR partners, the challenge with the selecting panel will always remain. What do you do to train them or create that awareness?
Sure. Thanks. I think it's a very nice, pertinent question. And I have given you only the initiative that I have taken. I have not told you the previous thing that we have done. There are a couple of things that we are doing. In our organization, not everybody is required to take all the interviews. They are all SHL certified, behavioral event interview certified interviewers. Plus, every single leadership team members who are a part of the hiring panel have to gone through unconscious biasness training, which we do it for every people manager. And that is a very, very robust training, and it happens not only for 2 days, it's a 3 days residential program that we do it. And on these 3 days, we make sure that every single person gets certified, plus the CDO in my team, making sure that she observes every single person on that, and there is a discussion happens after that by me, because obviously at that level, you don't have many people. You have around 20, 25 odd people at that level, where it's been discussed that what are your key takeaways out of that? And then there is a 2 months session that happens with me, which is a 15 days session with everyone. And then only they will be decided upon whether they are fit to take all such interviews. So it's a journey, I'm saying. DEI is a cultural journey. It's not that today I decided that I, in a blink of a second, I will move my gender diversity ratio from 5 to 15%. It's a baby step. I have mentioned it previously also. You have to take baby step, and it's a cultural change. And culture changes over a period of time. Today, I am an organization with certain cultural aspect. It will not change maybe in a month's time. It's a journey. So whatever I have told you, it has actually took a long way for me to really gone to that level. And the another thing which you mentioned, that it's a first step. The second step, that the CDO is a part of that interview.
Sain, I think very rightly you told. In 2 words, if I have to tell, like you need to create, one is storytelling and create some champions, when you are encouraging diversity. Because if you see in every organization, there will be some role model or champions, those who are doing. So try to build a story around them. Like in my organizations, I have a few champions and I try to build their stories around. I was giving you example, plant HR head at Bhiwadi. That's how it is you have to do. Anything?
And I'm more than happy to share the entire deck with you also if you need it.
Yes, please.
One more question, please.
One is the time, the other is the cost of training and the time it will take, but we should engage. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? You can discuss during lunch hours, lunch break. Yeah, please.
Hi, my name is Priya and I am representing Z Media Corporation. My question to you is that how we can ensure that every employee in the organization can take measures for, or what are the best measures and strategy to ensure every employee participate in DEI, making that every people and help in DEI initiative, starting from the top management to the bottom.
Okay, so to whom you want this question
It's a
to be
general
addressed?
question,
So what we will do, I think she is already there. We will come there and we will discuss. Yeah, yeah, I'll answer your question. So thank you very much. I think it was a lovely interaction. Thank you to all of us, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. And to do the felicitation, I would request Colonel Tarun Vora to be back on stage and do the honors.